What's happening, everybody? Ryan Slocum here during what was supposed to be the second week of the NCAA Tournament. But as you know, the coronavirus pandemic has completely taken over the world. All the sports are canceled, and there's pretty much nothing left to watch on TV. So we've come up with a little something to keep you jobbers entertained. We have put together a tournament to decide the worst WrestleMania match of all time.
Look at all of this crap.
We've narrowed it down to 64 matches, seeded 1 through 16, just like the NCAA's, in regions named after your favorite terrible wrestlers. Now, here's how it works. We'll all basically go around the table and pick which match is worse than the other, and then that match moves on in the tournament. We'll also call on a few wrestling journalists from PW Torch, the Baltimore Sun, even Rolling Stone, all around the country, and we will take calls from wrestling fans of every age, race, color, and creed, trying to get a good mix of opinions to decide what is the worst match of all time. There's one catch, though. We all get one veto that can be used in the first 2 rounds only. So if a match gets eliminated that one of us really thinks should move on, we can keep it alive. And just a heads up, we taped this thing before we were all social distancing, so we are all at the same table, except for our buddy Nick, who's in quarantine. Let's pick up action at the beginning of round number 2. All right, boys. Round 2. We still have 3 vetoes out there. It's the 1 seed, Bret Hart, taking on the 8 seed, Right to Censor and their music, against APA and Taz, the only entry from WrestleMania 17. First match, second round. Davey boy, go ahead.
You know, I already did the Brett match in the first round there, and it still hurts. It still stings.
It's still real to me.
That being said, I don't even care about Right to Censor and APA and Taz especially. I mean, get that guy out of the ring. Get him off of the microphone, too. They couldn't dump him fast enough. I hate to say that Brett is moving on in one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time.
Gotta do it.
It hurts so bad. He's so much better than that, but
not on that night.
Not on that night. And not his fault either.
No, it's like watching Goose die in Top Gun. Hard. But he goes on.
That's what we decide to compare it to. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with God.
It's a 1 seed for a reason. It gets mentioned all the time for a reason. And as bad as APA Right to Censor is, that's a forgettable match. This is Vince McMahon, and this is Bret the friggin' Hitman Hart back in the ring for the first time since 1997.
I don't even know if this match would have been watchable if Bret Hart didn't have his stroke and all of the physical complications.
And was old.
Yeah. I don't even know if that would have been enough. Like, sure, it'd be great to see him throw a Russian leg sweep on Vince, but
yeah, he might not have gotten up. Nick, we're going to go to you for this next one. The 12 seed, Triple H, Randy Orton, main event, WrestleMania 25, taking on the 4 seed, Triple H, Sting, WrestleMania 31. Which one of these crap Triple H matches is moving on?
I'm going to read you guys some quotes. And these are word for word. Michael Cole. That's right. This is what it's like, Sting. Over 70,000 strong. Lawler. Sting has never felt anything like this before. JBL. That's right. This isn't Starrcade. It's WrestleMania. Even Sting must be overwhelmed. Cole. He brought Sting here to destroy WCW once and for all. They crash him in this match.
Trash.
I cannot get over. I'm not a Sting fan. They made this match something that it was not, and I won't forgive them for that. I won't. You guys can sit. We can all laugh. Yeah, I'm great.
It's still real to me, damn it.
It is. I'm done with it. trash Sting. And I'm not even a Sting fan. There is no comparison.
I want to be a tugboat.
You better believe it. A little Stinger be a tugboat. And this match goes forward, hands down. If someone, I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody tries to veto, I will veto you right back. This match is that bad.
Yeah, I zero argument here. This match is another one, like the Taker Cena. Every time I think about it, I was hot that night.
Oh,
Every
I'm
time
so
I
hot.
think of, it gets worse. I'm more and more mad the more and more I hear about it. It's terrible. But Triple H had to stay hot because he was supposed to fight The Rock next year, and he had to do that segment with Ronda later in the night. Well, what? Because if Sting made him look bad, then it wouldn't be a big deal if Ronda did? Is that what the thought is there? Like, that makes no sense to me. It's stupid. And who cares? Guys job all the time. A year later, nobody's going to remember he lost to Sting or care that he lost to Sting.
The ending. Triple H's boys come down. They beat the hell out of Sting, costing him the match. Triple H hits Sting in the face with a sledgehammer to cheat and win. They all get in the ring and shake hands.
Yeah. Oh, I'll shake your hand. Sorry about the sledgehammer, brother.
Cool.
It's going to be Brett and Vince against Triple H and Sting in the Sweet 16. Whoever gets that one, man, it might be lucky we don't have vetoes because there's a lot of heat behind that one. We'll talk about it when we get there. Next one, Mr. Veto over here. He vetoed Mr. T and Piper for Team Johnny and Team Teddy. The 11 seed, another double-digit seed in this bracket, is moving on. The 14 seed, Andre Battle Royal, won by Braun Strowman at 35 with the SNL guys in there.
I guess I'll have to go with the Andre Battle Royal.
That a boy.
Wow.
Just, I don't know. I didn't like it. The SNL guys, they were a bunch of goofs.
You're cutting promos about as good as they are right now.
Sounded really passionate about it.
It's hard for me because I'm off work right now, and a lot of people know I teach. And one of my favorite presidents to teach about is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And the man holds the record. He's won 4 terms. Ryan, do you know what else he holds the record for?
No, what would that be?
The most vetoes. Yeah, there is no way. I'm throwing it on this one. Team Teddy versus Team Johnny is way worse.
You're using your veto.
Oh, you're dang right.
Wow. Team Teddy and Team Johnny has now twice been used veto. The same match. This is unprecedented. We've never done it before, but it's still unprecedented.
It still is. It's a random bunch of guys thrown into a random ring. I can't get over it. It's so bad. I hate Johnny Laurinaitis. The camera fades with Eve on the stage becoming a heel. Eve. That's what you use this main match to pump Eve.
I almost soiled myself.
I just can't believe 2 vetoes have been used on the same match.
Especially that one.
Team Johnny versus Team Teddy will now face the winner of this one. It's Brett and Bob, WrestleMania 11, against the main event from WrestleMania 27, Cena and The Miz. This is my pick. Cena-Miz is the main event. Cena-Miz is the main event at arguably the worst WrestleMania of all time. This main event is part of the reason that it's the worst WrestleMania of all time. Miz had zero juice going into this thing. He had no business in the main event. We all knew this was The Rock against Cena, not The Miz. He was just a placeholder because The Rock couldn't fight that year. They were waiting until the next year to build this thing up. Double count out, the whole thing. Then it took 1.1 seconds to end the match after the fact. That match blew. It was terrible. It was a pile of garbage. Cena-Miz is moving on to the Sweet 16. Jump ahead to the Isaac Yankem region. The top seed, Cole and Lawler, taking on the 9 seed in the second round. It's Brutus against David Sammartino. As bad as Sammartino is, and who the heck knows what this guy's even doing with his life right now.
Selling meat from a truck in Minneapolis.
Yeah, this is an easy one. Cole and Lawler, done. Moving on. All right, we're going to head back to the phones for our next matchup. 2 double-digit seeds again, moving on to the second round, and one of these two is going to move on to the Sweet 16, guys. We have a WrestleMania veteran on the phone with us right now. You may have seen him. He's the dude walking around at every WrestleMania looking like the Godfather. It's Big Steve is in the house.
What's going on? What's going on?
Steve-O, this is a tough one, man. I didn't know that either one of these two would be in this position to move on to the Sweet 16, and you have the tough decision of deciding which one is moving on to round number 3. What do you got, man?
Ah, man. They both equally suck. But I'm going to go with the Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose.
Wow. Brock and Dean.
Reason being is because it was supposed to be a violent match, and it was like the ultimate letdown.
That's what we said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like at least with the other one, you get The Rock, and he's somewhat entertaining. You get the McMahons, and they tried. The effort was there. The Brock Lesnar Dean Ambrose match is like they didn't give a damn.
Well, and we've heard that from Dean Ambrose's mouth, that Brock did not care whatsoever.
See? And it shows. Anytime Brock doesn't care at Mania, it shows. Go back to the Goldberg match, the first one.
Yeah.
He didn't care. It was probably the biggest letdown ever up until we get the spike back for no reason.
The McMahon in every corner match, that just rubs me so bad with how they basically took over the last 10 minutes of that match.
Yeah.
I mean, they tend to make things about them.
Big Steve's pick last, a 13 seed, guys. Lesnar, Ambrose, WrestleMania 32 is moving on to the Sweet 16. Steve-O, we appreciate you, my man.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Thanks for having me.
You got it, dude. Take care. We'll see you, man. We're going to go to Quarantine Nick in Orlando, Florida. It's the ECW match from WrestleMania 23, the originals against the new breed, the 11 seed moving on, and it is facing WrestleMania 34, the letdown, the squash match that was Undertaker Cena. Nick, it would take me all of 1 second to discuss this one.
Look at all of this crap.
I agree with you. Taker versus Cena, hands down. I mean, the other match, we can't lie, it's not bad. It's terrible. Taker versus Cena, what a letdown. Yeah, is there anybody that disagrees that so many fans, including myself, wanted to see this match?
Yeah.
I really did. And I get it. It's late. It's happening years past when it was supposed to. And I don't mind that Taker wins. I don't mind that. The way he won is the squash match is terrible. Not even a match. I agree. Taker versus Cena wins.
In the Isaac Yankem region, this one's my selection. Number 7, Demolition, Tenryu and Katao, taking on the 2 seed from WrestleMania 22. It's Booker T and Sharmell against the friggin' Boogeyman. The Boogeyman. What is that guy? Why is that guy still around? Why, when they have Legends Night, is Hogan out there, Flair's out there, other guys when they were alive are out there, all these legends, every single time, come back. And then they got friggin' Boogeyman out there.
There are a certain group of people that like the Boogeyman. I don't know what it is. They do.
What's your name? I don't care. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, did you tell him that? You should have.
I'm sorry. I'm just pleading to you.
Well, you know what, big fella? You shouldn't have wasted your veto.
You blew it!
You didn't plan ahead.
On Team Johnny.
On Team Johnny, you decided to waste your veto. It's awful. Booker T, Sharmell, and the Boogeyman are moving on to the Sweet 16. Gobbledy Gooker Region. Lesnar, Goldberg, is taking on Undertaker against Show Train without Nathan Jones. Nick, you took this match to move into the second round. Will you take this match to move on to the Sweet 16 over the 1 seed Lesnar Goldberg, WrestleMania 20?
I bet I'm going to get vetoed here, and I'm going to still go with it, though.
Uh-oh.
I can't believe it. The Taker show match is worse. To me, this is ridiculous. I mean, the Lesnar Goldberg, I know they're both leaving. You still have a match. It's still big names. I can't get over the Taker versus Show match. It's absolutely atrocious. Nothing makes sense. The match was booked terribly. The angle is terrible. The guy just, if he runs in at the end, why was he not good enough? Andre stood on the side of the ring in WrestleMania 6, and this goes, I want all the Undertaker marks to know this. I really hate that guy. He's terrible. His matches are terrible.
At WrestleMania.
I'm going Taker versus Show.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm vetoing this.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
I understand.
I don't like The Undertaker at all. This match sucks. But it doesn't suck as bad. It doesn't suck as bad. This match was supposed to be the new school Hogan Andre, Hogan Warrior, whatever.
You're not wrong.
And it is terrible. And here's something. How come every match that Stone Cold is the referee for sucks? Let's just throw that out there. Cole, Lawler, he's the referee. Donald Trump, he's the referee. This match, he's the referee. He didn't help this match either, even though it wasn't his fault. I'm just saying, it's quite a coincidence that three of the worst matches of all time, he happened to be the referee. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I got to veto this, Nick. Dave, the 12 seed. All 4 12s went through. Triple H Jericho, WrestleMania 18, up against the 13 seed. This is unbelievable. The upsets are crazy. Big Show against Floyd Money Mayweather.
I am going to go still with the Big Show and Floyd Mayweather.
Wow.
Wow.
The Jericho Triple H match was awful. Don't get me wrong.
And that's through, because there is no one left to veto anything. There is nobody left. I just used mine. Dave is the only one still hanging on to a veto. Big Show against Floyd Money Mayweather is in one of the 16 worst matches in WrestleMania history. I got to say, I didn't see that coming.
It really was an easy choice. I mean, you at least have some good qualities in Triple H and Jericho.
The match is fine.
There's no redeeming qualities of the interactions between Big Show and Mayweather, especially at WrestleMania.
Right.
I have a hard time telling you what even happened, even after rewatching the match.
Moving on, I'll take this one. It's the 10 Diva tag match from WrestleMania 26, and it is going up against the Miss Mania Battle Royal from WrestleMania 25. It comes down to who do you hate worse, Santino and Drag?
Yeah.
Or do you hate Vicky Guerrero?
Yeah.
I hate Vicky Guerrero almost as bad, if not, than any wrestling personality in the history of WCW, AEW, Impact, TNA, WWF, WWE.
And we're talking Bastion Booger.
Yeah, with
We're
one of
talking
these,
Roadblock.
the winner is going to win the Vicky Guerrero trophy. The winner of this.
I agree with you.
I hate her so bad. And Vince, that's not good. It is turn the channel.
Was she the main event? Was she part of that? Was she the main aspect of that match?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That match is booked around her. And she hits the quote-unquote hog splash to win it, which she tumbled off the rope. We talked about this. They pinned, and then they stopped, because I think she really hurt Kelly. I'm not sure. They stopped, and then she just pinned her again and wins. It's awful. I'm taking the 10 Diva tag to the Sweet 16.
Wow. What is that?
Excuse me.
Yeah. Shut the microphone off. The 7 seed, Tito Santana, against the Mountie. And that will face the 6-person tag team match, the 2 seed, Snooki.
I will go with Snooki. One word for you.
We are done with the Gobbledy Gooker region. Nick, we go back to you. Why you got another one of these, I have no idea. We already know the scales are tipped.
Yeah.
The 1 seed in the Bastion Booger region is The Undertaker. He and Giant Gonzalez are going up against, from WrestleMania 33, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton versus Maggots.
We were there.
We were there. I don't like to tell people that, but yes.
No, I know it's embarrassing. We were there. And we watched as the ring was turned into a screen of maggots that scared Randy Orton. I don't get it, but I still can't help but think that Taker versus Gonzalez is so bad, dude. It is just the worst. And the Taker, these people that like him, do they not realize there is no one? And I would like to have this kind. There is no one that has been better for wrestling in the ring with him. This guy puts no one over. This guy makes no one better. This guy cannot elevate a guy who cannot wrestle. This guy cannot do any of that. The Taker versus Gonzalez wins this match hands down. I mean, this guy is the most overrated guy. He sits there with CM Punk. I know DK, relax, but he sits there as the most overrated wrestler maybe in history.
The next matchup, 12 seed, Hogan, Andre, WrestleMania 4, up against another Hogan match.
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
It's Money Inc. against the Megamaniacs from WrestleMania 9. Who will win this Hulk Hogan turd sandwich?
It's not hot.
These matches are terrible, and they both.
Hogan, we coming for you.
These matches are both awful. I mean, I don't understand the whole point of having Brutus come back with Hogan and Face Money Inc. and have it end in a schmaz with all the junk going on and everything like that. And it just, why they wouldn't just put him over is beyond me. I'm sure, you don't want to put the tag belts on them, but
because Hogan was going to win the world belt a little later in the night,
which is fine, but you just feel like they could have had a better story or angle with anybody else. They didn't even have to start that feud with him.
Which one? Those are 2 bad Hogan matches.
The one with Hogan and Andre.
Wow.
I at least like Brutus coming back and being able to see him in the ring, but again, just the waste of Hogan Andre at WrestleMania 4, just throwing it in there, it had no redeeming qualities. And again, with them changing the rules, hit him with the chair. That's okay. So if Andre wouldn't have hit Hogan with the chair, Hogan would have been able to continue on with the match and maybe would have won.
Right.
So,
wow.
Hogan Andre it is.
Wow.
Really? Can I, 1 second, they had to get Hogan out of the tournament for Savage to win.
They could have come up with a better finish. Where was Pat Patterson? Where was Mr. Finish? Was he not on this match? Hogan, Andre, WrestleMania 4 against Taker, Giant Gonzalez in the Sweet 16. The 6th seed, Bad News Brown against whatever Roddy Piper was doing that night at WrestleMania 6, that is taking on Nicholas.
All right. It's hard for me to actually pick Roddy Piper against Bad News because I'm a Piper fan. But we were at we were at WrestleMania 34, and I remember when Bray Wyatt was walking around the arena, and he picked a 12-year-old boy to be his tag team partner, and everybody sitting around us was just like, "What is this?
What is going on?
What's happening right now?
Where are we? What are we doing?"
Because people that whole weekend were wondering who was going to be his partner.
Right.
So
we didn't know if it was going to be like a new dude.
Yeah.
A surprise. We had no idea. It was a surprise.
Oh, it was a surprise. It was Nicholas.
Surprise turd.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go with Nicholas.
Well, we got one more. Nick, it's coming to you. The last match in the Bastion Booger region, and this wraps up round number 2. Dave, you either use it or you lose it. One veto is hanging out there. I don't know if he's going to need it on this one, though, although he could. 10 seed, Dino Bravo, rugged Ronnie Garvin, WrestleMania 5. Taking on, from 21, the sumo wrestling match, Big Show, Aki Bono. Nick, the choice is yours, my friend.
I'm going to hope I help Dave out a little bit here. Let's get these celebrity matches out of here. That Big Show match was bad. It was terrible, but it's a special attraction match. The other match is unwatchable. You can't watch that again. Once you've seen it, it's like Schindler's List. I mean, if you watch it once and you're like, oh, God, I cannot see this again. Bravo and Garvin are jobbers, man. They don't belong at WrestleMania.
So we have our last pick going into the Sweet 16. Nick has taken Dino Bravo and rugged Ronnie Garvin over the Big Show and Aki Bono. Another match that many people say is the absolute worst in WrestleMania history.
And you know what? It gets to stay.
Wow. He is keeping his veto.
He is the veto. No, Big Show and Aki Bono are moving on to the next round.
Oh, you're vetoing.
I'm vetoing.
Okay.
I'm vetoing the crap out of it.
One of the odds-on favorites is gone, and then brought back to life at the last second.
There it is.
The very last match, the veto gets used.
I've been vetoed twice, and I don't appreciate this. Welcome.
Hey, there you go. Yep. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. The Sweet 16 is here. The Red Rooster Region, Bret Hart, Vince McMahon, WrestleMania 26, going up against one of the more polarizing, if not the most polarizing match in the history of WWE WrestleMania, Sting Triple H.
Look at all of this crap.
We pulled names out of a hat to see who goes first in this round, and it came to me. I really don't want to pitch this match. When I was filling out my bracket, I stopped when it came to this. Because I don't know what to do. I have always said Cole Lawler, Brett Vince are the two worst matches in WrestleMania history. I've always said that. There are two other matches over the past couple of years who have really, really, really pissed me off more and more the more I think of it. Sting Triple H is one of those matches. I'm an NWO guy. I am a huge NWO guy. I am for life to the fullest. And I could not believe what they did in that match.
Hey, yo.
Exactly. Helping Sting. Their arch nemesis. Yes, he was in the Wolfpack with Nash, but they were black and white. That was the original three down there. They made the whole thing about WCW. Sting jobbed. Sting comes out with a freaking Asian drumline. Sting is not from Hong Kong.
The other
He's a
interest-
surfer guy who got upset about some things and spent some time out of the sun, Conrad.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
He was depressed for a minute. He got over it. But this match was not about WCW as much as they wanted to make it, which they did. This match was not well worked. As we said earlier, those of you that are all about nostalgia, that is not nostalgia. You're changing history. NWO helping Sting, there's no nostalgia there. That didn't happen or would ever happen. 14 months that man stood not getting a tan, hanging out with the vultures upstairs. Finally, almost 2 decades later, he comes to fight Triple H, of all people. A lot of people, this one included, wanted to see him fight The Undertaker. I did not. Thought that match would be tough to watch. Didn't want to see it. Glad we didn't. Instead, we got this turd that came out here instead, which may have been worse than the worst Undertaker match you could possibly have. This could have been worse. The way it was worked, the fact that it turned into DX against the NWO, which had nothing to do with Sting at all. Every single time I think about this frickin' match, it pisses me off more and more. They ruined Sting. Why? And then if you go watch the documentary they made on this, very well done. The content was trash, but very well done trash. They fixed it up and shined it up real nice. Well, I didn't care. It was just an excuse to hang out there with our buddies. No, you're putting on a show for the people. You can hang out with your buddies any day you want. Don't book it during Sting's debut. Triple H, well, I had creative for next year. No one's going to remember if you lost. If he was going to fight The Rock next year, no one would have went, well, you know, he lost to Sting last year. I don't take this serious. No one would remember that.
Did he fight The Rock the next year?
Oh, and then it turns out he didn't fight The Rock the next year. Instead, we got another boring segment later, and that one of The Rock's only boring segments ever, with Ronda friggin' Rousey. Don't even get me going on that. He had to stay hot, though, for Ronda later in the show, at Sting's expense. As bad as Brett and Vince is, at least Brett had an excuse. At least Vince had an excuse. They're old. Brett had his health issues. Sting Triple H is your winner.
I was kind of on the side with everybody was a little too harsh on that match. And when this started today, like I was dead set on vetoing that right away and keeping that from going on because I didn't think it deserved to go on. I have now been convinced otherwise.
Hallelujah.
I agree 100%
A little bit of the bubbly.
with the booking of this match, the finish, the outside interference. It makes no sense.
It makes 0 sense. The 11 seed, Team Johnny, Team Teddy, somehow has been saved twice to make it to the Sweet 16. The 11 seed, maybe onto the Elite 8. It is taking on WrestleMania 27's main event, John Cena and The Miz.
Everybody hates Cena and The Miz. I think it's one of the worst main events of all time.
Oh, you don't do this.
Who else was involved in that main event? And don't say Alex Riley.
Team Johnny and Team Teddy?
No, Cena and The Miz.
The Rock.
Oh, well, The Rock.
This guy.
Unbelievable.
I don't hate The Miz as much as everybody else does. Like, he's not great.
We should have had our vetoes last, Nick, into the 3rd round.
I think he's been a mainstay of WWE since he's been in there.
Yeah, and where's the ratings gone?
He sticks around. He works his butt off. He goes out and does things in the community and stuff like that. He's like
So did Tito Santana.
Sure, right? Yeah.
So does Titus O'Neil.
And he has good promos. He is a good heel. And they try to put him in the main event, and I don't fault them for that.
I say that you're a terrible reporter.
It might have been too early, but it was worth putting it out there.
Please don't do this to him.
And the fact that I don't like the ending. I don't like the count out. I don't like restarting the match. I don't like any of that part.
You are going to take Team Johnny and Teddy over this.
I would much rather watch Cena and The Miz than watch that Team Johnny match again. And I don't care. To counteract myself, like normally I would say Team Johnny was in the middle of WrestleMania. This was the main event. Yeah, I get that. I would make that argument, and I probably will later with some other matches.
Look at you, giant idiot.
But the fact that you guys both vetoed this match for a reason, I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to let it live on.
Look at all of this crap.
Okay.
I'm doing it for you, Hortz, and DK.
I will never forgive either of you two. You idiots. You idiots. Saved Mr. T and Piper. And
yes,
what
it's
the
not a bad match. I'm sick of hearing you talk.
Hey, you know what is a bad match? Cena Miz. And now it lives. Because of you.
Podcast on WrestleMania 2.
Because of you.
Cena and The Miz deserves to advance forward. It's a terrible main event. I'm sorry. I apologize to the fans out there.
Okay. Isaac Yankem Region, or as I would like to rename it, the Nick Hortz Region.
Sure.
After that, the 1 seed. This one goes to Jeff Cole Lawler. He's taking on, from WrestleMania 32, a surprise, 13 seed Lesnar Ambrose.
Yeah, I mean, Lesnar Ambrose, I was disappointed with that match. And I had a buddy that went to that WrestleMania, and they were just like, we were so disappointed. It just wasn't a good match. But
worst all time, though?
No.
Yeah.
And I can't see it beating one of the worst matches of all time, Cole versus Lawler. That's moving on.
Cena and The Taker from WrestleMania 34, the 2.5-minute squash. But man, it's up against a tough one. Booker T and Sharmell against the Boogeyman at WrestleMania 22. The winner moves on to face the 1 seed, possibly the worst match in WrestleMania history, Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler.
Easy match. Taker versus Cena is by far way worse. This match, we wanted this match 10 years ago.
More than 10.
It was a legend versus legend match. The last that they had, a squash match, though? Like, why even have it? Taker Cena wins this round, in my opinion.
It was worse than Superstars, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously. Black Bart lasted longer against Coco Beware on Superstars in 90 than Cena lasted against The Taker, who had been retired for a year. And he still beat this dude in 2.5.
But he wasn't done. He's still fighting. He's still in Saudi Arabia. So, I mean, yeah, it's terrible. You wrecked what could have been the last great match that people from mine and your era really wanted to see.
It's quite possibly the last legendary matchup we will ever have, because none of the dudes now are over like Cena or The Undertaker. They're not even half as over as Cena or The Undertaker. Look at right now. You got Goldberg against Roman Reigns. No one freaking cares. The Gobbledy Gooker region. Top seed, Lesnar Goldberg, which was saved by the bell. It is taking on Floyd Mayweather against The Big Show. This is not even worth 5 seconds of my time. Lesnar Goldberg in a Taker Cena squash. Lesnar Goldberg in a landslide. That's into the Elite Eight. Dave, 10 Diva Tag featuring Vicky Guerrero against the 6-person tag featuring Snooki.
Is it poop versus crap? Is that what you said?
I think I said something like that earlier.
Yeah, something like that. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go with the 10 Diva tag match. And I'm going to do it quickly, and I'll tell you why. I can't do that to Dolph. I just can't. I just can't. At least he was in the match and Morrison was in the match. They're both. I mean, Ziggler's amazing in the ring. Morrison's not bad, especially back then. Vicky and being involved in both matches, it just. Bleh.
Final region, Bastion Booger region. Here you go, big fella. You get your chance. Better late than never, right?
Oh.
Undertaker, Giant Gonzalez, WrestleMania 9, against the surprise Sweet 16 team, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 4, in a match that you didn't think should be anywhere near this paper or the paper after it.
There's no way my 8-year-old self would even be happy picking the Hogan-Andre WrestleMania 4 match over Undertaker Giant Gonzalez at Caesar's Palace.
God bless you, Jeff.
There's no way. There's no Hulkamaniacs here. Yeah.
The final Sweet 16 matchup of the third round goes to Nick. It's your son, Nicholas, in that awful match in New Orleans. That awful match at the Silverdome.
I'm sorry, it is the Superdome, brothers.
It is up against the Diaper Boys, Big Show, Aki Bono.
This is so hard for me to pick. I'm going to have to go with the Nicholas. It's got to be that. I mean, that was so bad. I get it. People don't like the Big Show and the Akamono match. That's fine. It was what it was. It wasn't going to steal the show. It wasn't going to make name for itself. It was a fan match, celebrity match. The Nicholas match was a little over the top. I mean, this guy, you ruined a very good tag team. You ruined two guys, one of which who had been a WWE champion. I'm going to say Nicholas defeats them.
We have our Elite Eight. It is Triple H Sting somehow taking on Team Teddy and Team Johnny. In the Isaac Yankem region, the top seed, Michael Cole, and Lawler, taking on Cena and The Undertaker. The 1 seed in the Gooker region, Lesnar Goldberg, facing the 10 Diva Tag Team match from WrestleMania 26. That was an 11 seed, and it's in the final. Or excuse me, the final of its region anyway.
Oh, no pun intended with the excuse me, huh?
Well done. Well done by you. And then it's the Taker and Giant Gonzalez. All the 1 seeds are on to the Elite Eight, taking on Nicholas. What is moving on to the Final Four? A match that you kept alive, and then it got kept alive again by a veto. Team Johnny, Team Teddy, or will it be Triple H against Sting from WrestleMania 31?
Do you know how much I hate that Team Johnny match?
We do, because you saved it. You saved it, yes.
I did not want to see Sting versus Triple H.
No.
At all.
Yeah. I wanted to see Sting versus The Undertaker.
Right.
Okay.
Strike 1.
At WrestleMania. And I didn't get to see it. That's strike 1. What's strike 2?
Well, you got a sweet drum line. You did get that, right?
Was that John Bottom in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Are you just mad you weren't part of the drum line? Are you a little bitter?
I am not from Shanghai.
Yeah, and Schmaz finish. I Sting versus Triple H goes on.
The regional champion of the first ever Rooster Invitational, Sting Triple H, has taken down Brett against Vince.
I agree.
It has taken down Cena, Miz. It has taken down Orton, Triple H. It has taken down Bam Bam, Luna, Doink, Dink. Sting, Triple H. One of the 4 worst matches in WrestleMania history. We move on to the regional championship of the Isaac Yankem division. This is the toughest choice to date. Nick, Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler against the 3 seed, the Squasher Taker, against John Cena.
I don't know how to answer this because I'm going to have to think. Cole versus Lawler. Cole is not even an in-ring performer. Lawler is, at this point, he's terrible. I'm sorry. He may have been good in Memphis. I never saw that. From what I saw, he was not anything special in his time in the WWE. But I got to give it to Taker versus Cena. I got to. This was a match. Cole versus Lawler. There is no mistake in that. All the fans listening, don't watch this match. It's not worth it. Don't see it. You won't miss anything. It's a terrible match. It makes your eyes bleed. It's so bad. Ryan, were you not there?
Dude, I will play video on this broadcast of me booing the ever-living piss out of this match. Little Sloke went to WrestleMania 8, brother.
Yeah.
For his 12th birthday.
Yeah.
Ted and Sue drove his sorry butt down to Indianapolis to the Hoosier Dome to see Hulk Hogan fight Ric Flair.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
Little Sloke got screwed, brother. He didn't get to see Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. Instead, he got to see Sid and the Hulk Hogan.
What you did, Jack Tunney, was bogus.
What if you would have got to see Hulk Hogan beat Ric Flair in 5 seconds?
Well, that's not where I was going, but that's a great point. I didn't get to see it at all. My point is I didn't get to see it at all. And I was there for Undertaker Cena, and I feel like I didn't get to see it at all.
You didn't see anything more than an Eric Rowan versus The Rock special.
A hair longer. That's pretty much what you got. And every time I think about it, as bad as Cole Lawler is, that is so bad. 23 minutes. The post-match goes 7 minutes. It takes them like 6-7 minutes for the intros.
Suffering succotash.
It's so bad. Austin's in the ring stunning people. Booker T gets in the ring. The whole thing sucks. Cole ends up winning. It has everything bad you could possibly want, including the anonymous Raw general manager, all in this match. And for whatever reason, Cena Taker gets my blood boiling even more nowadays than that does.
Because Cena Taker is a main event match at WrestleMania.
That should have been a top 5 match ever. That's a top 5 match ever. That's Stone Cold Rock. That's Hogan Andre. What are the other ones? Hogan Flair should have been. Cena Taker, the best of that era. Cole Lawler is gone. Cena Taker is in the Final 4, brothers.
3 of my top 4 are still here.
The 10 Diva Tag at WrestleMania 26 starring Vicky Guerrero. Excuse me? Exactly. As much as I cannot stand Vicky Guerrero, as we stated earlier when I saved this match, it's arguably the biggest dumpster fire in the history of wrestling. It already wasn't what it should have been. It should have been the main event. It should have closed the show. It should have been for the title. Instead, it was a mid-card match. And it turned into just the biggest show it could have ever been.
Yep.
This is not even hard. Goldberg Lesnar is into the Final 4 in a squash. We've already pissed off the whole world. Why not do it again, perhaps?
You fans can stick it, brother.
Taker Gonzalez is the 1 seed, but it is up against a tough competitor in the 7-year-old from New Orleans named Nicholas. No one man can take down the Taker. We've been dealing with him for over 30 years. Maybe a first grader can do it. In the first ever Worst WrestleMania March Madness tournament. Dave, the floor is yours.
Nicholas.
Hogan, Rock, Cena, Nicholas.
I don't know how much we can go on talking about The Undertaker and how overrated, and for Hortz, how much he sucks.
Average carpentry skills.
We've talked about this before.
He's got that going for him.
We talked about this when we were setting up the bracket and going over everything. How many Undertaker matches are on here?
More than anybody else.
And yeah, he wrestled probably, in so many WrestleManias.
And let's give it to him. He did have that streak of great matches.
Exactly.
Half of them were against Michaels and Triple H. Boy,
for the person that had more matches in this tournament than anybody, he deserves to have 50% of the Final Four. Undertaker and Gonzalez is going to the Final Four. There's not too many Undertaker matches that are it would be hard to find something worse. And then, don't get me wrong.
He uses chloroform.
More like Boroform.
Right. Taker Gonzalez is on to the Final Four, which you said it, Dave. Mr. WrestleMania here, which I know is Shawn Michaels, but the Taker has 2 of the 4 worst matches in WrestleMania history, according to this esteemed panel. We got a Final Four of Taker, Giant Gonzalez, Lesnar, Goldberg, Taker, Cena, and Triple H against Sting. This is going to be a heck of a Final Four. We're going to be joined by 2 more guests on the phone. The way we're going to do the Final Four is a little different. We are not individually picking this. We're going to bring a couple of guys on here, so there's 5. The best out of 5 is the match that wins. Okay? So it could be 5-0. It could be 3-2. Majority is going to rule on this to see who wins both the Final Four matchups and the World Championship of Dumpster Fires. The first matchup is Sting Triple H against Taker Cena. We have Brock Rice on the phone right now. He is a wily veteran of WrestleMania. He's been to numerous. A fan since the early 80s, if not 70s. Very informed. Brock, this is 2 tough ones. We're going to begin with you. Sting, Triple H, or Taker Cena?
Both highly anticipated matches with Bill. The Sting Triple H match had a bigger build and a bigger letdown because the execution was so poor. Sting being supported by the NWO was just foolish, made no sense at all. I'm voting for that one here. Although Cena Taker was poor, the Sting Triple H one much worse. I'm voting that one, Ryan.
Wow. A lot of support for Sting Triple H. Dave, let's go to you.
All night long, I've been with Cena Undertaker. In agreement with that. There was no build up to it. Everything that they did to set it up was ridiculous. And taking a look at it, just a rundown, 13 minutes was taken away for that. 2 minutes of that was them actually wrestling.
And why is that?
It started with the hat and the gloves appearing in the ring. 2 minutes later, he starts coming down.
As if the entrance isn't long enough already.
And then 5 minutes later, he's finally in the ring, and they're ready to start wrestling. Oh, yeah, 2 minutes and some seconds later, it's over. That being said, with everything that we've already talked about,
wow,
I'm going with Cena versus The Undertaker in the finals.
We are even, 1 apiece. Jeff, you were in the building for Cena Taker.
I was there. I'm not going to take too long, though. Between that and Triple H versus Sting, the finish, Triple H Sting, horrible. I'm going with that.
I wanted Cena to end the streak 10 years prior. cheating to win, cheating, turning heel to end the streak. That's what I want, as Batista would say. I didn't get that. I got a squash match from an old man who hadn't been in the friggin' ring in a year that I actually stood up and clapped for the year before because I thought he was done.
No good lowlife.
And he went down the stupid entrance ramp right in front of me.
I almost soiled myself.
And I clapped. And then he came back and charged me $300 for a 2-minute and 30-second match.
Worse than Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson.
Plus airfare, and they overbooked my flight, and I got stuck there.
Dang it.
For 2 extra days.
Break his back, make him humble.
To watch a 2-minute squash by a 90-year-old man who's dead, and then he's alive, and then he's dead again, then he came back, then he rose through the screen, and then he rode a motorcycle for a minute, and then he killed a bunch of people and turned into Satan, then he drove Stephanie somewhere one time, then he came back on his bike, then he was dead again, and then he's back, and then he wins in 2.5 minutes, coming down in a freaking walker.
I think it's a very bad signal that you're putting out to the American people.
Costing me thousands of dollars.
You blew it!
Triple H Sting. No, I'm just kidding. This is tough. I hate Triple H Sting so bad.
Worse than Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson.
What could have been with Cena Taker puts it over for me. Cena Taker. And it comes down to Nick. It is 2-2 to you.
We were all big fans of WCW and the NWO when that angle came in. And when you think biggest feuds of all time, Hogan, Andre, Sting, NWO, there is no other. Those are the top two. They compared him to the G League and compared Undertaker to the NBA.
Tell these people to shut up.
Sting has been in big matches. The way they treated him, Lawler talks about how Sting has never felt anything like this. I cannot believe he even said this. That's right, Sting. This isn't Starrcade. It's WrestleMania. I'm sorry. I'm going to break the tie. Triple H versus Sting.
Wow.
It makes me angry.
Triple H Sting.
It goes. I'm sorry. I go against my chart. I go against my bracket.
You went against your bracket. Wow. Triple H Sting is in the championship, boys and girls. We went chalk on the other side of the bracket. It is Lesnar, Goldberg, WrestleMania 20. And guess who's in this as well? The Undertaker's there again. Will he make the championship this time against Giant Gonzalez from WrestleMania 9? Brock, what say you?
Taker Giant Gonzalez, the worst professional wrestling match since dating back to 1982 when I started watching it with Gordon Solie and Georgia Big Time Wrestling. This was by far the worst thing I ever saw in my life. Yep. It's embarrassing as a fan to watch this guy work.
The Undertaker,
the
that is.
The storyline, the chloroform, everything was just ridiculous. That's my worst match of all time.
To you, Dave.
I'm just going to say Lesnar and Goldberg.
Plain and simple.
One more for the good guy.
Crap match. Stone Cold was there. Refereeing the match, which we've already discussed, is kind of a trend at this point.
That would be kryptonite for matches.
Yeah, so he couldn't even save that stinker. So I'm going to say Lesnar and Goldberg should face Triple H and Sting.
Jeff, we are tied at 1 apiece. Lesnar, Goldberg, Taker, Gonzalez.
I'm going to have to go with Dave and agree with him. Lesnar versus Goldberg. The crowd hijacked it. McMahon had to come out afterwards. Save face.
Yeah.
It was atrocious.
Nick, we've spent a lot of time on this match already today. Your pick, moving on to the championship to face Sting, Triple H.
Taker versus Gonzalez, hands down. This match is so poorly worked There are no, again, I cannot reiterate this. The Taker cannot slam anybody. He cannot body press a Hogan slammed Andre at 3. Taker can't even slam Gonzalez. This guy is a weak man for a big man. This is a poor match. It's terribly worked. Gonzalez is one of the worst workers ever. He's wearing a fur muscular suit, airbrush. Yeah, I'm going with Taker Gonzalez over Lesnar Goldberg.
I'm no fan of Taker Gonzalez. I'm no fan of WrestleMania 9, and I think it's quite apparent I'm no fan of The Undertaker. I've never liked The Undertaker past 91-ish. Just didn't like it, thought it was stupid, thought it got old. So he switched gimmicks, and that got old, and he switched gimmicks, and that got old. But what could have been at WrestleMania 20, what should have been at WrestleMania 20, and what was at WrestleMania 20 puts it in the championship. Brock Lesnar and Goldberg is the biggest dumpster fire of a match that they have ever had because of where it was and what it was supposed to be. Catastrophe. An absolute catastrophe. Roman Reigns feels bad for those two guys with the crowd getting on them. That's how bad that is. And then there were two fellas, Sting and Triple H from WrestleMania 31. That is going to piss a whole lot of people off. That is in the championship against Brock Lesnar and Goldberg from WrestleMania 20. We welcome back gold record-selling rapper John Connor. It's a best out of 5 like we did in the Final Four. 5 votes. Best of 5 wins it. We will begin with you, John. Which one is the worst WrestleMania match ever?
Lesnar Goldberg at WrestleMania 20 is definitely far worse than Triple H and Sting. And my reason for that is because just watching it, you could tell they both weren't into it. The crowd is actually the star of that match. You know what I'm saying? The most memorable part of Lesnar Goldberg at WrestleMania 20 is the audience. Like, the audience was the most over entity in the whole match.
Right.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin at the end. And, you know, that you could tell their hearts weren't in it. And it's not really too much that's memorable about the actual match. They both were on the way out. I'm going to have to give it to Lesnar Goldberg.
You came into this not even wondering if Triple H Sting should be in this tournament. You have now been sanctified by yours truly, as well as Quarantine Nick, to believe this match does suck. Diarrhea. And now it's in the finals. Does it suck enough to get your vote for the worst ever?
How much of that match did they take staring at each other?
Half of it.
Goldberg staring at Lesnar. Goldberg staring at Stone Cold. You know,
and then rest holds after that.
Don't forget the 15-minute long collar and elbow tie-up that happened like
yes,
back.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate after the 10-minute stare down, there was a collar elbow.
I'm going to let the crowd pick the winner of this tournament. And the crowd clearly hates Lesnar and Goldberg.
Tell these people to shut up.
That has got my vote for the worst match in the history of WrestleMania.
And it's supposed to be babyface.
Quarantine Nick, who do you have as the worst match in the history of WrestleMania?
They booked this match as Triple H was scared of Sting. That's fine. He's running around from week to week. When we get to Mania, they switch it. They switch it completely on us. and all of a sudden, it is WCW versus WWE, the last shot to the Monday Night War. And what they do to Sting is, I don't care. Lesnar and Goldberg can fade off into the distance. Neither of those wrestlers are Sting. They're not. Sting is better than both of those guys. You killed him. You made him look like trash. You made him look like garbage. You made him look like WCW was a third-rate company, not second-rate. And Ryan, I could go on all night. Hands down.
Lesnar Goldberg is everything all you guys said. Nick, you mentioned the entrances, and we talked about Sting is neither from Asia or Asian. Why did he come out to some nightmare music? What was that music?
I don't. It killed him.
It was like Michael Myers was coming out there to fight him. What was the music? And I asked for Triple H. They're basically promoting him as a face. The announcers are making him the heel, but the crowd loves him, and he's acting like the face. But then Triple H is the heel, but he's the one from WWE, so you're supposed to cheer from him. Then he's doing sit-down interviews with Arnold Schwarzenegger, making himself seem cool and stuff. Then he comes out to the Terminator whole entrance. Did anybody else on Earth notice this? That they changed the WrestleMania logo that's above the entrance when you walk out. Go look at the logo. It's not the one that's above the ring. You have never seen that logo because it's in Terminator font.
Because he's
Did it look cool? Yeah, it actually looked cool. But they didn't do it to look cool. They did it for Triple H's freaking entrance.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Sting has a guy hitting a gong for some reason. And then he brings his buddies DX out there. Okay, maybe Sting couldn't make it through the match. He might not be wrong. Okay, then bring DX out. And everybody's all excited. Hey, we got to see DX. Oh, boy. Like we haven't seen him 1,000 times already.
Real flunkies.
Did I need to see him 1,001 times? No. I didn't need to see him for an entire summer when they were facing the Spirit Squad. I didn't need to see their dumb glow sticks. I didn't need to see any of that. I've seen it. Go home.
I got a question for you, bro. Did you enjoy it as it was happening, though?
No.
Like, no.
I was screaming at my television.
I was angry.
I've never not wanted to see Hogan more in my life.
I'm sorry.
I am the biggest Hogan, Hall, Nash fan that there is.
One more for the good guy.
And I wanted them to turn around and run back through the tunnel. Go back with the drummers. Maybe they have a timpani you can hit or something. I'm sure there's an extra snare drum back there. Scott Hall, go bang on it. It's going to come down to one vote, 2-2.
Yeah.
To WrestleMania 2 boy over here. Jeff, Sting, Triple H, Lesnar, Goldberg. The final vote for the worst WrestleMania match of all stinking time.
I'll make it short and sweet. As much as I don't like the finish of Triple H and Sting, they did not stink the arena up like Brock Lesnar and Goldberg did.
Wow.
I'm going with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg.
We got a worst match ever.
WrestleMania.
That sound just covered Hort's flipping tables.
The worst match of all time by a vote of 3-2. Goldberg against Brock Lesnar. WrestleMania 20. The one seed, many people's favorites going in. Despite everything I just said. Can't be mad at that.
They dropped the ball with Sting and Triple H. And your points are all valid. John, what you said, did you enjoy it while you were watching it? I'm one of those people that absolutely did. And I understand you saying that. And I think that's probably the biggest comparison between, like I said, with the fans choosing. The fans hated the Goldberg-Lesnar match from the go. The Fans were hyped for this Sting Triple H match, regardless of what happened, regardless if it made sense.
Yeah, if I may, I think that's what was the deciding factor for me with this and two, I was at WrestleMania 31 when it was happening, so I'm a little jaded because I remember being there and I remember getting super excited when I saw the NWO and I got super excited. I'm sorry, brothers. I did. When DX came out, I got super excited. Brian?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anybody in this room other than me and you saying for life from now on. I don't want to hear for life under these other guys. Because what they did here was bogus.
What you did, Jack Tunney, was bogus.
And Goldberg Lesnar has been crowned your champion after 38 hours of the first ever tournament to decide the worst match of all time. I don't think people will be too pissed with that, will they?
I don't think so.
I don't think so at all. The right match won.
Yeah.
We didn't do a tournament to find out the third worst match. We found out to do the worst match. They can't be upset.
Right.
Thank everybody for watching. We're going to do it again. The next one we're doing, we're going to be a little more positive this time. The greatest WrestleMania of all time. Top to bottom. Same deal. Instead of 64, it's 35. We're seeding them, we're breaking it down, and we're going to reel out best WrestleMania of all time.
All right.
See?